So today we're out at the Point of Pines Oyster Farm, and this is one of the first off-bottom oyster farms in the Gulf of Mexico. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to take an oyster, and it's the same oyster that you get in the wild. You spawn them in a hatchery, and we call them oyster seed when we do it that way. So we take oyster seed and you raise them in some type of container, a basket or a bag that's up off the bottom in some way.
So over the years, we've experimented around with some different methods, and we liked the Australian longline method. And that was one of 4 grow-out methods that Auburn Research set up at our site, I believe, 2008.
When I started working here, we got some funding from Mississippi-Alabama Sea Grant, and this was specifically to try different types of gear, different baskets or bags that we could grow oysters in, and see if it was technically feasible, and also see if people could make money at it.
Our growing method keeps the oyster in an enclosure, a mesh enclosure, off the bottom, out of the mud, and away from predators. And so just by handling the oysters periodically over a period of 12 to 18 months and keeping them in the water, we're able to get a market-sized 3 to 4 inch oyster in that period of time.
The nice thing about these oysters is because they're the seed from the hatchery, they almost all grow that perfect shape with a nice deep cup and a nice broad fan, and they've got a real pretty white shell. And so you're producing what I would call a world-class oyster that's really destined for a raw bar or a fancy restaurant, where you can get top dollar for it. So one of the things we really like about trying this here is the idea that what we can do is we could add a product to our local economy, and this won't compete with the oysters that are coming off of a reef. Those oysters are still going to go to shucking houses, and people will still have those jobs. We want that. This is trying to add something where people can now grow a fancy oyster that's going off to those premium restaurants so that you're getting higher dollars for it. So it's something that we're hoping to add to the economy.